Jr. gave his I Have a Dream speech, in our community, 70% of adult blacks were married. By 2002, we were down to a whopping 48%.
Wow.
And according to the 2010 census, 42% of adult black men are unmarried, compared with only 26% of males in every other ethnicity combined.
Wow.
Okay, so now there are two schools of thought here. One is this, that you guys simply don't value marriage anymore, that the new millennium African-American male doesn't feel that it would add anything to his life, has become rather content in his singleness, and sees no benefit or compromises to the freedom he would have to give up in marriage. That's one school of thought. The other is this, and I think we talked about this, or Adam, you said this, that we're witnessing a generation that grew up without male leadership in the home, that he didn't experience the three-dimensional male, the husband, father, provider, so he can't be something he's never seen. So I'm gonna start with you, Lynn. Why do you think African American males are marrying at such a disproportionate rate compared to their white, Latino, and Asian counterparts?
Okay, well, you know, for me personally, I would have to say it truly comes down to what you've seen, right? So for me, being where I'm from, you didn't see a whole bunch of cats who were at home who actually, you know, hitched with their kid's mother. You just don't see that very often. So if you don't see that and you haven't seen that your entire life, then how can you then think of taking that next step if you're still trying to build that empire, right? So I think it really comes down to we're always trying to find that next move, that next hustle to make the money, to feel, you know, safe enough, solid enough to take that next step.
So it's almost like it's a bit of both for you, because if you're trying to build the empire, then it's almost like marriage isn't that valued because you're trying to build your empire. Because you can build an empire with your significant other or your wife.
So true. You know what? That is so true. But again, that for me comes down to that right woman. So you have to find that right lady. Like, you know, we all said, she's a good woman, but that's hard to find. That's rare. You know what I mean? You know?
And Lynn and I have a common bond. Of course, we've been friends for years, but we were both raised by single mothers.
Right.
And so I didn't see, you know, marriage growing up.
Right.
But I have a heart to be married, and I know you didn't see it as well.
Right.
Do you have a heart to be married?
I do, if I can find that right woman.
What?
Right?
I agree with Lynn to a point, but I think a lot of times us as black men, we use that as an excuse, as a scapegoat.
Really?
Yeah, I think we do. And it's just
Some may.
And I'm not saying.
It truly comes down to finding that right woman, because you can, you know, see one who looks great, she's fine, she
What is
seems
the right
smart
woman?
and all that.
What is the right woman?
One who gets it, who can flow, who can compromise, conversate, and help you make money. I mean, because that's key, right? Also, one who is, you know, saved. That would be beautiful. That sounds like a perfect woman to me.
A lot of my friends don't want to get married just because they don't want to get married.
So then that's the first school of thought.
Yeah, well, and it's a situation where they don't have to. They get sex, they get fed, they get playtime, they get the whole night. And if she's got kids, you get the little fat family atmosphere for however long you want it, and then I can leave.
Great point.
And go do whatever I want to do because it's allowed.
I think that there are certain guys that they just don't want it. And because we're hunter-gatherers, I think with certain guys, there's a thrill of the chase. I grew up with both my mother and father. They're still married to this, 40 years. It'll be 40 years in November.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's a blessing to have both your mother and father, because you get an opportunity to see not only the sort of accountability to one another, but you get to see them work through issues.
And there is something, I'm just going to speak for myself, and a woman that you want one person to build and grow and share with. There's not.
You got your voice of your friends, because you're the good one.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? Like, your thinking is not, I don't think your thinking is the.
Women do desire, I think. We have a nesting thing going on that we do desire. Now, I'm not saying that. Yeah, but no, women do push and we do hunt, and there's a season of wanting to date and be out there, but I think that season comes to an end for us, and that we want something that makes us feel safe. And there's no safety when you're out, with just kind of doing your thing with everybody. But maybe for you, there's safety in that because there's the thrill of the chase.
We depend on us. It's like, okay, I'm a man, I'm a single man, I gotta take care of me. and I'm safe in that.
Right.
So it's like, okay, if I don't have some money, I'm going to continue to do for self, and I'm going to be like that. Where I think a woman feels just the opposite. And not all women feel like this, but there's a lot of women who feel like what you said, safety. I want to eventually stop doing all of this and be in the comfort or the safety of family and relationship, and that's cool. That's cool, but we both are built different.
Okay, this question is for fathers. I think we all know when it comes to poverty, economics, and the development of children, research shows it's always better to have the father in the home. Can we agree on that?
Definitely.
Okay. Most children who are living with a single mom, and it just studies have shown, are the poorest demographic group in America. However, only 10% of children living with both parents are living below the poverty line, whereas over 60% of poor children are residing with a never married mother. Children who have the father in the home have higher achievements test scores, better cognitive abilities, higher levels of social competence. Children without fathers in the home have lower IQ levels, usually. More likely to drop out of school and more likely to make lower wages as adults, and are more likely to perpetuate and establish a single parent household. So, that said, it's clear that fathers matter beyond a paycheck and are a contribution to a child's well-being. So, do you think that African American men really realize the level of importance they play in the healthy development of their children? And if not, why? And what can be done to change that? Are you at home with?
Well, here's the thing. No, I'm not. But here, I'm not at the home. But me and my kid communicate. We're together. I'm not with the mother, but my daughter is tops in her class. She is excelling way beyond what I would have ever thought. And that's, I don't want to be the selfish dude and say, I'm going to take all the responsibility for that, because even though I should, because I know the relationship between her and her mother.
I think you hit the golden ticket though, because you and your parenting partner have found a way to make it comfortable to raise your daughter, and to where it's not maybe infighting and this, that, because you take a role in their life and the mom takes a role. And I found the same thing. I think my situation is really unique. I have my son every weekend, Thursday through Sunday. Every weekend. And it's a situation where his mom got married and moved away to Miami. And I fought to make sure I was out there once a month. My son is really good. In the books, social skills are great because he has two parents that love him. I don't think he would be as good if we stayed together and was arguing every day.
I agree.
I think his grades
that.
would be down. I think that his social skills would be a little more docile. But because he knows he has two people that love him, that encourage him, that push him, and want the best for him, that helps him want to excel.
Right.
I think the takeaway from this is that in this generation, because things have changed and the families aren't together and women are unfortunately heading the household, I pray that that does change. But if men are active in the child's life, that can change and make a difference. Okay, that concludes our discussion, our relevant discussion. So I want to thank everybody. Thank you all for joining me today, and thank you for viewers for tuning in. Thank you.
Change the world.